Speaker says Supreme Court usurped Parliament powers. Crowd gathers in anticipation of vote.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartulo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Friday's news. A very short session of Parliament this afternoon as opposition MPs confident of the successful vote of no confidence result sat in the chamber as the Speaker announced the motion. In the opposition ranks, PPP leader Ben Micah took a position near opposition leader Don Pollier. Speaker Theo Zirano at the start of the session said the Supreme Court had usurped the powers of the Parliament and the Speaker by ordering Parliament to be recalled to entertain the vote of no confidence. Sarah Aupong reports from Parliament.
The opposition was successful today in adjourning Parliament until next week Friday. Before he introduced the motion of the vote of no confidence this afternoon, the Speaker of Parliament aired his disappointment at what he sees is an interference by the courts into NEC matters.
The Supreme Court orders were somewhat, in my view, vague. It was ambiguous and open to all sorts of interpretation. The Parliament was put in a situation where the notice of motion for a vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister was to be introduced, then debated, and finally voted on in today's sitting of the House in compliance with the Supreme Court orders in direct contravention of the relevant provisions of the Constitution. However, at approximately 11:30 this morning, the Chair received from the Supreme Court an ancillary order
Commenting on the second court order that was obtained this morning by the opposition to make sure Parliament was adjourned to next week Friday, he said it was a blatant misinterpretation of an article published in one of the dailies today.
This article is purely the interpretation of the newspaper journalist that compiled it and is in no way an authorized publication given under the authority of this Chair, contrary to the suggestions by the Supreme Court. Honourable members, at this juncture, the Chair would like to advise the House that the Chair shall seek a resolution of the Parliament today to invoke a special constitutional reference before the Supreme Court to clarify the Supreme Court's power to order breaches of the Constitution and organic law and the circumstances under which such orders can be made, including the issuance of ancillary order based on articles that were in no way authorized by the Chair.
The government tried to move a motion to do that through Leader for Government Business, James Marape.
I move a motion that Parliament endorses your call for a constitutional reference, Mr. Speaker.
This was initially entertained by the Speaker.
The ayes have it.
Call the division.
Is there a division? Is there a division? Would those in... There is a division. I'm entertaining the division. I'm entertaining a division. Would those in favor please rise?
But he changed his mind after this point of order.
This is a special purpose sitting, Mr. Speaker, with only one agenda. The agenda is to have the motion introduced and to adjourn. That has already been achieved with your ruling. Full stop. There can be no further motion, no any other agenda introduced. We are now moving away from the purpose of this parliamentary recall into something else. The purpose of this parliament is not to call for the entertainment of any other motion other than to introduce the motion for a vote of no confidence and to adjourn it. So having made the ruling on already, you cannot call for another motion. Mr. Speaker, that is out of order. To do so will be in contempt of court, Mr. Speaker.
Point taken. Point taken. I feel at this time we have to be sensitive of what is happening around us. We have to be sensitive about what is happening in Papua New Guinea as well. And whilst I would really want to take this matter to court right now and get this Parliament to resolve for us to take this matter for judicial review, I would rather exercise caution. And I would say we will do it after we've dealt with the matter that's before us. I'm exercising a lot of precaution here.
After this, Marape moved to adjourn Parliament, which was agreed by all. The government seems confident that they still have the numbers to remain in power after the vote of no confidence. They now have 7 days to hold on to those numbers. But with PPP's surprising move today, this remains to be seen. Sarah Aupong, National MTV News.
Outside the gates of Parliament House, an estimated 400 people gathered to witness the motion of vote of no confidence. Only a small number was allowed in because of the limited seating inside the chambers.
The road leading into the Parliament House was blocked off and traffic police inspected all vehicles that were heading towards the National Parliament's main entrance. Security guards at the main gate denied vehicle entry and all media personnel were asked to walk in. This footage taken at 1 p.m. today shows a crowd of people waiting to go into the Parliament House. Some of these people came from other provinces to witness the motion of vote of no confidence. There was a strong police presence outside Parliament. Only the people dressed appropriately were allowed in. Every person that was allowed in had their bags checked. An even bigger crowd is expected to gather here next Friday for the vote of no confidence.
All by God, vote of no confidence. That's why now we bless the crowd outside and we thinking go inside that's all passing the start. At 2 o'clock, sir, but go inside. People like people believe was now only thinking lo sense him government people crowd outside lo watch him. And also, thank you. At
1:30 this afternoon, a huge group of people gathered outside the Parliament House. Over 100 were sent in, while the rest were turned away.
And I thank the government of the day, and we look forward for the Prime Minister to continue for the next election to come.
Thakla Gunga, National MTV News.
Meanwhile, at the government caucus meeting today, ruling PNC-led coalition members gathered to demonstrate solidarity and support for Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. 81 MPs attended the lunchtime caucus meeting, with many expressing support. In this footage supplied by the Prime Minister's media unit, Minister for Mining Byron Chan announced his confidence in the government. Nuku MP Joe Sungi also pledged his support. Members of the public outside Parliament House today praised the People's Progress Party for moving to the opposition. They said the move was vital and for other members of Parliament to pay attention. Despite many not entering the Parliament this afternoon, the public expressed high expectations as the vote of no confidence looms.
For the government to move to the opposition was a breakthrough. It needs to happen for the other MPs as well.
PPP joined one of them opposition, one of the 7 members or and most of them way politics. We might have a new Prime Minister on coming Friday.
So that the true leader was revealed, which means that Ben Micah moved into opposition bench, and that means that we are seeing light that is going to shine on Friday.
Ben Micah move on them 7 player MP belonging to go opposition, stop on the opposition, so people public and people think of them hopefully on Friday by some new changes become up for this nation.
Because this blank government ronim na mi looking penis. All Papua New Guinea look chape was ronim long and looking penis. But today, me like him was ting blow me was me like him. God blow me was me like him. Emlo sends him this new blank government.
Here with National MTV News, the day's other stories when we come back. Welcome back to National MTV News. Day 5 of Air Niugini's cancelled flights today and more frustrated passengers. One Air Niugini top official confirmed with MTV that the national pilots have been calling in sick since Wednesday, causing this dilemma. Meanwhile, at the airport today, passengers expressed disappointment at how the airline was handling this issue.
Popendetta, Alata, Wapanamanda, Mount Hagen, Rabaul, Wewak and Buka flights were cancelled. Buka and Alata flights have been cancelled for the last 2 days and passengers were frustrated today.
Because there's backlog everywhere, I can tell you. There's backlog in all sectors. So that will cause chaos, frustrated people, and we should stop it. Information should trickle down to all the Air Niugini outlets.
Another passenger said that Air Niugini needs to come clear about pilots not attending work and let the ground staff know. He said booking of tickets for the upcoming days should stop to allow the stranded passengers to leave first.
Air Niugini is probably kidding us. If there is a problem with the pilots going on strike, it's better that the ground staff should be aware of it and inform the general public that we should not be continuing on booking seats.
Meanwhile, at the international airport, flights to Fiji and Solomon Islands have been cancelled and rescheduled to Sunday. Air Niugini top officials confirmed at the domestic airport that national pilots have been calling in sick. He said that Air Niugini have tried to talk to pilots, but pilots are refusing to attend work. While William Duma, Minister for State Enterprise, has said he has not been made aware for the pilots' reasons to stop work.
We've provided them the planes to fly, providing them accommodation allowance. We've made it possible for them to be employed on fairly attractive remuneration packages. They're in fact some of the best paid people in the country. And yet, for reasons known only to themselves, they're involved in this unacceptable behavior.
Adelaide Xerox Kari National, EMTV News.
UPNG Moraba students temporarily residing at Jubilee University in Port Moresby will return to their home province after living there for weeks. This follows the suspension of the UPNG academic year last July, which forced them out of campus. Governor Kelly Naru, who visited them today, told them to stay calm while waiting for their repatriation. Eric Harupma with this report.
The Morobe provincial government has come to aid meeting accommodation bills and rations for Morobe students waiting for their repatriation.
So kindly more appreciated.
Following the suspension of the UPNG academic year, Jubilee University has been very helpful in providing accommodation. Speaking on behalf of the officials, Governor Naru said in the midst of addressing national issues, the students have exercised their democratic rights this far. However, he encouraged students not to incite trouble, saying the appropriate channel to serve justice is through courts and national elections.
You know can skin out now working something you go in up long to the extreme and extent that you come up with not play weekend. You made your point, you have expressed your right to freedom of expression. Larry Mosem, now let the appropriate institutions for justice play their part and they will deliver justice.
He said resorting to other means will bring instability and chaos. Naru urged students to embrace their education and follow appropriate channels in serving justice.
How we have done hand in hand in addressing national issue, we hope we have set the benchmark for our little ones coming up. They see, and even at the political level too, you our leaders, you can work at that level to address these issues of importance for the country.
Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
The first step in an ambitious plan to cut down on the importation of chicken feed has been realized with the signing of a joint venture agreement to develop the Sepik Plains Agriculture Project. Kumul Consolidated Holdings Limited, together with Innovative Agro Industries, today signed off on an agreement for the development of 5,000 hectares of land in Yanguru District, East Sepik Province. The Sepik Plains Agriculture Project is the first large-scale project in agriculture to be undertaken by Kumul Consolidated Holdings Limited, KCHL. This project will see the development of chicken production, a commercial cocoa plantation and grain production. The level of investment in this project is in the region of 55 million kina. 3/4 of this cost to be shouldered by KCHL.
We have the natural resources. Our partner, Innovative Agro Industry, brings to the table this expertise in developing these sort of projects together with the capital. So I think in the end it'll be a win-win result for all of us. So once again, I'd like to...
A large portion of this project will see the processing of stock feed for poultry, which according to Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Richard Maru, could see a potential reduction in the price of chicken in the country in the near future.
Because of the feed mill and the fact that we are producing local feed as opposed to the imported feed from Australia, I'm absolutely convinced that chicken being produced in the Sepik using local feed will be much, much cheaper than the cost of chicken that is being sent to the Sepik area from Ley. Therefore, firstly, we will stop the importation of a lot of wheat, which they use to produce the stock feed inlay. And this could go into hundreds of millions of kina. So the demand for wheat will be really cut because of the production of local feed using corn and cassava as the main ingredients.
The autonomous region of Bougainville is a highly potential tourism site for Papua New Guinea. Tourism Minister Tobias Kulang described Bougainville as the last frontier of the Pacific, which has so many products to offer tourists.
The Boca Town Tourism Development Plan Initiative 2016 to 2020 has been launched. This includes the Boca Urban Council's new logo. The launching was officiated by National Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Tobias Kulang, Autonomous Bougainville Government's Associate Minister for Tourism, Robert Hamel Sawa, and National Communications Minister, who's also the Central Bougainville MP, Jimmy Mirin Toro. Mr. Kulang thanked the Boca Urban Council under the leadership of Town Manager Edward Kanai for initiating such a great plan to drive Boca Town as a tourism destination.
Congratulations, Boca. Congratulations. ABG, you are getting the formula right. That's where this industry is going to fly.
The tourism industry is the way forward for Bougainville because it will help grow the region's internal revenue, and this should be today's focus.
The tourism industry, and we generate some internal revenue for this nation. Mining as well by generating money here.
The launching paves way for stakeholders to work together to make Boca Town an entry point for tourism.
Destinations for Papua New Guinea that tourism can really thrive.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News, Boca.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina opened unchanged at $0.3160 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3085 US, $0.4013 Australian dollars, $0.2745 euro, and 32.09 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and cocoa closed higher, while gold and copper closed the day lower. Palm oil and crude oil closed lower, while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed at 134 points higher, the ASX is trading at 32 points higher, and the All Ordinary is trading at 31 points higher. Another terrorist attack in France, 84 people killed when a truck mowed down people celebrating France's National Day. That story, among others, when we come back. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Lay's International Training Institute today graduated 298 students in various courses including business, human resource, computing and accounting. The 31st graduation ceremony also marked another milestone for the institution in producing more human resource for the country's workforce. Amongst the many students that graduated was Caroline Joseph. Caroline is from a mixed parentage of Chimbu and Manus and is a full-time mother of a young girl as well as a student. She is the proud recipient of the school's Principal Award and is dux in her class. She graduated with a diploma in management. Joseph says she has come a long way to achieve her dream and owes all the credit to her mother as well as her husband. She had to sacrifice her education to find work and support her mother after her father passed away a few years ago. She is now looking forward to furthering her education next year. She will be applying for a Bachelor in Management Studies. Residents at the Morbe block outside the city were educated by trained representatives from NCDC on how to deal with social issues in their community. The issues include gender-based violence, law and order, education and health, waste management, and women and youth empowerment. Erika Rupma with this report.
The delegates at 8 Mile received a rousing welcome upon their arrival by traditional dancers who led them into the arena. Members of the NCDC Community and Social Services Department have been very educational in talking about core problem areas.
anything's in line with education or in line with waste management, or if it's to do with markets or if it's to do with health issues or problem, they know where to go. That is why we are here.
The first of its kind, it is an initiative taken by NCDC to address social issues in the community. The community leader Atobe Bapa said to combat these issues, they have formed an association called Morobe Block Community Association.
Programs like this, so that we will make more awareness, community awareness, in order to get people to say change their attitudes, change their mindset.
This was depicted in a drama show put up by youths.
There are so many problems, I cannot say no. Like we have law and order problems. We have law and order problems. We have health problems.
This will target increased literacy rate and law and order problems caused by youths. Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
Morobe's Provincial Liquor Licensing Officer, Nathaniel Mark, has responded to concerns over the placement of a liquor shop within a residential area of Lae, saying the shop is on commercial land. LLG Councillor Carol Yawing brought the matter to the public earlier this week, saying the liquor shop was too close to residential areas. But the Liquor Licensing Officer says the shop is operating legally.
The Provincial Liquor Licensing Commission confirmed the liquor shop trading as KC2 Limited at Caswary Road is an existing liquor business. Nathaniel Mark, the Provincial Liquor Licensing Officer, said the liquor shop was operating at Malang Industrial Centre in 2013 before it got relocated to Caswary recently. KC2 Limited paid for the distributor's license on the 3rd of March this year and deposited also for the retail on the 20th of June 2016.
They were given these licenses a number of years ago, and they moved down to Kaswari Road was because they constructed their own building.
The Liquor Licensing Board was aware that the land the liquor shop will operate on is a commercial land and not a residential area. The residential area and the commercial land are separated by the Caswary Road that runs through. Mark said social disturbances has always been the issue along Caswary Road due to illegal sales of alcohol in residential areas.
In the 7th Street area, all those premises are always selling black markets, and they report to my office here to get the police and go and raid all those premises.
The Liquor Licensing Board did not seek recommendations from the ward councillor and other community leaders. According to the board's understanding, the land on the other side of the road is a commercial land for business operations.
It would have been better if we had spoken to the councillor also for her recommendation.
This area the liquor shop is operating on used to be a marketplace benefiting the residents here. KC2 Limited has paid part of the land off and constructed its own building for business operations. With the current license issued, conditions for operation are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday to Saturday and 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sundays. Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
To news abroad now, and the quiet coastal town of Nice, known as the capital of the French Riviera, was shocked last night when an attacker in a truck mowed over a group of people that had watched Bastille Day fireworks, killing at least 84 people and injuring scores of others. Interior Minister Bernard Gezenev said 84 people had died and 18 were in a critical condition.
Many more were also wounded in the attack along the famed seafront promenade des Anglais, as the fireworks ended just after 10:30 p.m. local time. The driver also opened fire before police shot him dead. The attack, which came 8 months and a day after Islamic State gunmen and suicide bombers struck the French capital on a festival Friday evening, seemed so far to be the works of a lone assailant. The truck careered for hundreds of meters along the front facing the Bay Anglais, slamming into families and friends listening to an orchestra or strolling above the beach towards the Grand Century Hotel, Negrosco. Adelaide Xerox Kari, EMTV World News.
Yeah, with National EMTV News, Trukai Sports is next. We'll have football, rugby league and athletics when we return. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. President of Mount Hagen Central Soccer Association, John Makanda, says that his players are gearing up to make an impact at the Highlands Regional Championships, the Bastille Cup, for this year. Speaking from Goroka, Makanda believes that the Highlands region has a lot to offer PNG football as a whole.
In Goroka to affiliate with the Highlands Regional Championships, Makanda was firm in his stand that Mount Hagen would be able to improve on last year's outing after making it to the semi-finals with both men's and women's squads in training already for the Cup.
This time we will make it through the final because we have the talent, we have the players there. To expose them out, we have never. Last year we came in and we proved it to PNG that we will be coming back.
With a change in approach for the association over the years, Makanda has said that the focus for Hagen was on youth development, with training and competition programs created for the seniors and reaching downwards to the junior and even under 6 level.
We morning till afternoon, so the game is on now. I think we are the biggest association in the islands with 1,450 players. I think we are the biggest in the islands region, Mount Hagen Central Soccer Association. So we have tried our best to develop the court. So all we need is PNGFA to support us.
Whilst the higher powers of PNG football are focused on the top echelon of the game, the Highlands region has been largely untouched. But for associations like Mount Hagen Central, their main aim is to be part of the fraternity that is PNGFA, without being left behind. Players like PNG defender and NSL top scorer Koraku Paiga, as well as Medang FC midfielder Samuel Kini, originated from the Highlands. And this fact is not lost on Makanda, who is quick to point out that while the Highlands may be the least developed of football regions, there is hope that with good youth development strategies, it won't be far long before Papua New Guinea has another representative from the Highlands.
There are so many good players around, but we have been overlooked for a long time. So PNGFA, whoever gets in, or if David Mr. Chung is still there, come down to our association, travel out and see, because islands, we play some good soccer too.
For now, however, the first test that has to be overcome is the Bastille Cup. And once that occurs, can the strength and quality of footballers in the hinterlands be fully gauged? Jeremy Mogi, National EMTV Sports, Goroka.
To Rugby League now, and Watson Boas and Silas Gahuna have been omitted from the 18-man squad of the PNG Hunters to travel to Brisbane today. Coach Michael Marum says Boas has been ruled out by the medical staff due to a knee injury, while Gahuna has been omitted as only 18 men can travel.
With Watson Boas out, this sees Atebina Wabo moving to the half-back position.
Yeah, one change. Fortunately, Watson Boas has been ruled out for this weekend's game. He had a PCL from last week, the last game against Tweed, so he won't be taking part in the game. So that means we promoted Atebina Wabo from the bench, starting at the halfback now. So, and that allows for Brendy Peter to come in as starting off the bench.
Meanwhile, Marum has confirmed 2 Intercity Cup players joining the Hunters training squad.
The franchise owners, Adrian's out, so they've given him the release. He'll join us Monday, and he'll go through training with everyone else. So.
Marum added both players will play for their franchise clubs unless the opportunity arises where they may get to play for the SP Hunters during the rest of the season.
Again, bringing those players in, they'll still go back and play with the Digital Cup teams, but we just want to show them what we do here, getting familiar with what we do at training here and how we do things here.
They have worked on defence all throughout the week, knowing the Redcliffe have far more bigger players.
They really had a good game against Sunshine Coast Falcons, and their forwards are really big, they're aggressive, they got more experience than our boys, but we worked hard on our defence all throughout the week. So, and today we just finished off on our goal line defence. So, and we did well against Tweed, but they'll be tough to beat in front of the home crowd too. So.
They will be playing for the Stan Joyce Cup, in which the Hunters have held for the past 2 years. The match is set to kick off on Sunday at Dolphins Oval. Elijah Lavette, National EMTV Sports.
Sports Minister Justin Chichenko has praised Pacific Sprint Queen and PNG's very own Toya Whistle. Toya qualified for Rio Olympics in the 100-meter sprint at the Melanesian Athletics Championship in Fiji last week. She is the only PNG athlete who qualified on merit for Rio in athletics. The others will be announced at the end of this month.
Minister Chichenko says PNG is proud of Toya Whistle's achievement and has congratulated the sprint queen on her win in Fiji last week. Whistle, who attended the Melanesian Athletics Championship after breaking Mai Koime's national record last month, will now be PNG's hope in Rio as she goes up against some of the world's best athletes.
Toya Whistle has done a remarkable job by qualifying in the 100-meter sprint, and we look forward to seeing her hopefully and maybe get a medal. First Papua New Guinea sprinter ever to be in the running for a medal for Papua New Guinea in track and field.
Chichenko gave full support for the PNG contingent. He says this is something the country should be proud of and urged everyone to give 100% support.
Very important that we get an idea of who's going sooner rather than later, give certainty to a lot of the athletes. We're waiting for the PNG Olympic Committee to announce that, and they're an independent body that will assess everybody's certification and ability to go over there.
Dinero Striko, National EMTV Sports.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Trukai Sports after these messages.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. World Rugby's Get Into Rugby and Just Rugby programs were introduced to the Rugby League fanatic village of Tubuseria in the Central Province today. While the concept and idea of rugby union remains relatively new to many of the villages, students of Tubuseria Primary School have been receptive and quick to jump on board the program.
For these kids, rugby union is somewhat of a foreign language, but from today onwards that is about to change. The Get Into Rugby program will allow for students to learn the art of rugby union ethics on and off the field, while paving the way forward for talent identification and mass participation.
After the school programs, it's an 8-week program, so we hope to run a festival after the school 8-week school program. So in that way we get the interest of the school plus the local community at Tubuseria village, and eventually invite some players from here or clubs to participate in national championships or invitational sevens.
But while trying to break the rugby league trend seems mission impossible, Peter Moide believes beginning with these students is a good start.
Actually, they've been really excited, especially when we talk about kids, them getting the ball and throwing it around and enjoying themselves here. We hope to come here every Thursday. The program has to come here every Thursday, and the school is very helpful. So at the end of the day, it's about enjoying and having fun for the children.
David Mead, the young lad from Tubuseria village, currently in the NRL, has set the benchmark for many youths to look up to. Also, one of the many reasons why the village community are committed fans and followers of rugby league. But Andy Hakwa, sports teacher of the Tubuseria Primary School, believes this opportunity from World Rugby through the PNG Rugby Football Union could work wonders for the community.
It's a dream for every child, you know. Most of them here, the concept of getting into education, and there are a couple of them who may not do it, who may not get into education. And getting a concept like this here, we hope and believe that if David has done it in rugby league, we should have somebody from our community here to be in rugby union too.
The Get Into Rugby program this year began in the Hula villages and is travelling through the Motuan coastline, with Hanua Bada their next stop. Another difficult task at hand, trying to break the cricket crazy trend. But as the union aims on maintaining their stance, with the highest number of participants in the Oceania region, this seems a task easily handled. Lorraine Genia, National EMTV Sports.
5 students from different Taekwondo associations in the country were awarded with black belts yesterday. It took them 3 to 4 years of training and competition to attain the black belt status.
The students awarded will help Master Stone travel to 10 different provinces to help develop the code of Taekwondo.
We hope to have more than 16 centers. Taekwondo is a medal sport in the Olympic Games and the Pacific Games, so we want to have all our provincial teams participate. Then we have a basis to select our national squad.
Eddie Icy, the youngest of the five, says his hard work has paid off over the years.
Taekwondo was introduced to me by my uncle and my two big brothers and my father. And I started training then since today. I got my black belt and it's about 7 years. I'm grateful to wear this belt.
The aim is to help train Taekwondo athletes throughout the country and prepare them for the PNG Games and other major tournaments.
We want to expand our network around the country because the SP Games is coming up. I think Stone Taekwondo is the only concerned Taekwondo body in Papua New Guinea that is looking towards the PNG Games.
Minister for Mining Byron Chen was there as well to present the belts. He says the interest of Taekwondo has grown in his province with the help of Master Stone.
Interest has grown after Stephen acquired his black belt and the interest, knowing that we are affiliated now and part of Master Stone's club. You know, like I said, I've been in martial arts myself for the last 30 years.
They plan to travel in the next 2 weeks to the different provinces to carry out training workshops. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. After the break, here were the details for the weekend. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for the weekend in Port Moresby, mostly fine. Fine weather is well expected in Daru, Kerema and Popondetta. A shower or two in Alotau. To the Momasi region, mostly fine in Ley, cloudy periods in Wau. A shower or two in Madang, a few showers in Wewak, thundery showers in Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Kavieng, a few showers. Fine weather expected in Kokopo and Rabaul, some showers in Kimbe and Buka. And to the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these centers can expect a shower or two over the next 24 hours. And that ends today's news for Friday, the 15th of July 2016. On behalf of the EMTV News team, have a pleasant weekend. Good night.